Hello students, this is Mrs. Wynn. I'm going to give you a couple tips and tricks to using Google Docs when you're doing your APA format. There's very specific things you have to do for the header and also for the title page, and I'm going to show you how to do that in Google Docs because it's very different from Microsoft Word. So pay attention. First of all, you want to make sure you have your Dropbox shared with your teacher. You have your 3 checks across, especially the paper, because that allows your teacher to see your paper online. You can link to your paper at the top or on the sidebar under paper, and hopefully you've gotten started on your paper. Let's see what I've done so far. Ooh, I have my title, and this is the beginning of my paper. For the APA format, your title does go in the center at the beginning of your paper. Remember where your alignments are up top, so to center align that. And then you should have an indent to start your first paragraph here. I'm going to show you what the proper heading should look like on the body of the paper. So, to insert header, you need to go under Insert to Header, and my title should be in all caps. So this is my title. Of course, your title may be different. Lincoln on Leadership. It's left justified, and it's in all caps. When I tab over, my page number needs to be on the right side. It needs to be right justified. So I'm going to tab over to the end of the margin here. But I'm not going to type a number 1. I'm going to insert because that page number needs to change on every page. So I'm going to insert a number at the top of the page. Now you see it went down a little bit. I can just click before the 1 and delete. It'll bring it right back up because I was too close to the edge. So you want your right justified page number. Now we have to do a little trick here. The reason is we're going to create a new page for our title page. And our title page will be number 1. So we don't want the beginning of our paper on page 1. We want this to actually be page 2. In Google Docs, since it's not Microsoft Word, will not let us change this page number, but we can trick it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go right before the very first word, whether it's your title or the beginning, whatever the very first word is, you want to click your cursor there, and we're going to insert a page break. As soon as you insert your page break, it makes a blank page that we're not going to use. But we had to trick Google Docs to say this is page 2. And now your paper is fine. You keep typing, all your page numbers will come up. When you get to the next page, you see my page 3. All right, so there's my Lincoln on Leadership. My header is correct. The beginning of my paper is correct. Now, what about my title page? I'm going to actually have to go out to my Drive. If you don't know, here's a little shortcut, open in Google Drive. I'm going to click here. It's going to take it out to my Drive. Here's my paper. I never want to delete it. That's the same paper that's connected to my Noodle Tools. It is not a copy. Say it with me. There is only one. So any changes I make, this is the paper my teacher can see. What I want to do is I want to create a new document because my title page has to be separate for one reason only. It has to have a separate header. The APA style requires you to have what's called a running head. So on this paper, we're going to insert a header, and it's going to look just a little bit different because it starts with the word running head. Only the R is capitalized. You want a colon and space. Again, my title will be all caps. Again, I'm going to tab over to the right side. I'm not going to type the number 1. I'm going to insert. I'm going to insert a page number at the top of the page. If it goes too far, just click before it and hit delete, and it'll bring it back to the top page, the top line. There it is. This is my title page only, and then you see how it looks different. Now, APA style also says that your title has to be about halfway down the paper. You can use a return here. You don't have to measure it, about halfway down. You want your title centered. So I'm going to click the center align. Now this is not all caps. This is just like a regular title. So Lincoln on Leadership. You can see that just Lincoln and Leadership are capitalized. My next line, I need my name. And my next line, I need my institution, Calvary Christian Academy. And that is my title page. No italics, no bolds. It's supposed to be in 12-point font. You can check that. You can do a Command A. You can change your font size. You see how it changed my one here? I can just delete it back. I can do a Command A here. Make sure I'm in 12-point font. Times New Roman is suggested for APA, so if you want to check that, always a good idea. 12-point font, Times New Roman. It defaults to 1-inch margins. That's where you should be. And that's all you have for this document is just the title page. So if you want to title it so you don't lose it, okay, this would be my Lincoln on Leadership title page. Okay. Now I have my running head, Lincoln on Leadership. I can go back to my drive. I misspelled title, that's okay. Click it there, fix it. Okay. Go back to my drive. There's my title page. Here's my test project. Remember, this is a blank page. We don't need this page because we just did page 1. We want to be on page 2. We want to do a Command A here. Let's see, are we in 12-point? No, let's double check. Let's put it in 12-point. Let's put it in Times New Roman. You want to make sure you're double spaced. Make sure you're in the line spacing. Make sure you're on double. That's also APA format. Double spaced. All those things you want to check before you turn it in so you don't get points marked off just for silly things like that. So that's my hints and tips for Google Docs in the APA format. If you have any more questions, you can see me in the library.